Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. And as you can probably tell, I'm discontinuing the What If Naruto Was a Demigod series because it's not doing too well and I don't like it that much. So that's gone. Bye. And yeah, I guess the thumbnail for this video wasn't made by me. It was made by this person called Ashra on Izukage's Discord server. Maybe you know, maybe you don't. Make sure to go check it out. Credit to him. Tell me if you like the thumbnail or not. And let's get started. So a lot of people are going to be saying, well, isn't this basically just the Sharingan? I mean, that's like, the point of the Sharingan. The Sharingan can copy abilities and stuff. But this isn't exactly the same, because the Sharingan can help someone learn, like, I don't know, basic jutsu. If somebody else is doing a water style wave jutsu or whatever, like the Sharingan person can like also do that water wave jutsu thing, but the Sharingan doesn't let people like copy KK Genkai, for example. So like if Sasuke used this Sharingan on Obito's Kamui, for example, that wouldn't work. Or if Sasuke used his Sharingan to try and copy the Almighty Push, that doesn't work, because that there are other requirements to do those abilities. What Naruto's ability does is completely bypasses all of those limitations, because I am the writer of this story and I say screw that. Yeah. So, yeah, he can copy literally any ability, no matter, there is one limitation. If he doesn't have, like, the skill level to do that jutsu, like, if he's a baby and he's trying to copy, like, the hardest jutsu to learn, if he's trying to copy the reanimation jutsu, he can't do it. Like, he won't be able to do it probably because, he'll learn how to do it, except, I don't know, he probably won't have enough chakra in him to be, like, have that be physically possible. So yeah, now that that's out of the way, let's get started. So everything else starts off the way it was in canon. And no, I am not going to make baby Naruto copy Kamui when he was born, because, Obito used it and everything. But Naruto has to, like, copy jutsu intentionally. Like, not intentionally, but it's not that he's trying to copy the jutsu intentionally, but he has to be able to, like, actually comprehend what's going on, at least. Like, if he's just a baby, not even seeing the battle with Obito and Minato, he's not going to be able to copy any of those, nor would he probably remember that he copied any of those abilities. So yeah, nothing happens there. Minato and Kushina die, Obito gets away. Naruto is, being raised. Everybody hates Naruto. And yeah. So, on Naruto's first day of the academy, he goes to the academy and everyone, once again, doesn't like him. He just sits down and he just watches as all of Sasuke's fangirls just crowd around Sasuke, and he's like, he's jealous of Sasuke. He doesn't like being that one outcast. So, they start class and they do the whole, like, first exam thing. The kunai throwing, the running, and Naruto just does the exact same thing as in the original, because he hasn't copied any abilities yet, nor is he stronger yet, until the sparring. So during the sparring, Sasuke and Naruto decide to spar, and because of plot convenience, something cool happens during the spar. I wonder what it could be. Basically, so this fight starts and Sasuke just runs up to Naruto without Naruto being able to react at all and punches Naruto to the ground. But Naruto's not having it. He's like barely at the edge of the circle, but he stands up and he sees Sasuke running at him again, so he just dodges out of the way. And because of Sasuke's momentum, he almost like slips out of the circle. And then he's like mad at Naruto because he's like, I've had enough of this kid. Because I don't know, I just want him to be. And he starts weaving hand signs, and Naruto's scared. He's like, oh my god, a jutsu? I don't know how to do that. Man, I wish I could do like exactly, I wish I could do something like that too in return, He's like, dang it, why can't I do jutsu as well? And so he's thinking about, how he wishes he could, also do jutsu, which fills the requirement for having intentionally wanted to copy his jutsu. And this is the moment of truth, guys. Sasuke launches his fireball, saying, Katon fireball jutsu, or whatever he says. And as the fireball jutsu flies towards Naruto, Naruto instinctively just starts weaving hand signs. And it's just like, it just feels right almost, Sometimes, I don't know if this ever happened to you, but like, you kind of just like know what to do, and it just happens, and it just works. And Naruto just weaved the hand signs for the fireball jutsu and just launched a perfect fireball jutsu, bigger than Sasuke's, right back at Sasuke. And this caught everyone off guard. First of all, like, Sasuke's fireball was definitely going to finish off Naruto. And the fireball was really impressive, so everyone was impressed by that. But the fact that Naruto, in that brink of time, was able to respond with a fireball bigger than Sasuke's, like, everyone was just stunned. And Naruto's fireball was able to beat out Sasuke's, and Sasuke was knocked out of the ring, blasted away by the fire. And Iruka was just standing there, speechless, as Sakura just booed from the stands, being like, "How dare you hurt Sasuke-kun? Oh my god, you're so mean," or whatever she said. Like, Naruto doesn't even care. Naruto's too cool to care. He doesn't have a crush on Sakura in this version. He's just not gonna have a crush on Sakura. And so Sasuke doesn't get knocked out, but he is, he's pretty badly injured, and he doesn't have to go to the hospital, but he's mad. How on earth did Naruto manage to make a fireball jutsu bigger than his? He was like the most surprised out of everyone. Naruto using a fireball jutsu, that wasn't okay. So Naruto just went home that day, and he was like, how did I just do that? Because he had no idea how to do that jutsu. And he had tried doing jutsu before, looking at scrolls and trying, and he had never succeeded. So Naruto was like, how was I able to do that? And so he went outside to his backyard area, and he tried it again. And, he weaved the hand signs and yelled, "Fireball Jutsu!" And he launched another huge fireball, towards the, wherever. He launched a huge fireball. And it was so big that the jutsu caught one of the trees nearby on fire. And Naruto, he was like, oh no, what have I done? But at the same time, he was like, what did I just do? That was insane. So he was both like unhappy because of the fire, but he was also happy because like he just mastered like an OP jutsu. Like, it's not OP, but like for academy level, that's an OP jutsu. So yeah, just deal with it. And but like he didn't know how to deal with the fire. But this is where plot convenience comes in. So as the fire like starts spreading, people start noticing, and the villagers call on Jonin and other people to try and help. And eventually this Jonin comes that we don't know who it is. It's just a Jonin. I have no idea. Just random Jonin comes and uses a water jutsu that just like blows a bit of water, like a stream of water out of their mouth. It's almost like the fireball jutsu, except it's not as big. It's just like more direct stream of water. And he uses the jutsu to just extinguish most of the flames until, he runs out of water. And right as the guy was about to weave hand signs to use the jutsu again, he realized water coming from another direction. And he was like, oh, finally, some other Jonin arrived helping me, extinguish the fire. But then when he looked, he saw a kid, Naruto. And, the Jonin could tell that Naruto was very small, probably barely academy level. And Naruto was able to use this water jutsu, and he didn't question it, but from Naruto's perspective, he was even more surprised that he had been able to copy this jutsu as well. And he used it literally perfectly. Just like perfectly copied the jutsu and, used it to extinguish all of the remaining flames. And the Jonin guy was like, oh, good job. And left the area with a body flicker or whatever he uses to leave. And Naruto was like, how did I do that? And then he has that moment where the light bulb floating above them just turns on. You know what I mean? The light bulb turning on thing. When somebody gets an idea. So Naruto's like, do I have the ability to copy abilities and jutsu and everything? He just thinks he has the ability to copy jutsu for now. He doesn't know enough to know he can copy Kekkei Genkai and everything as well. But Naruto's like, I want to test this ability. I want to use it for something else. And so Naruto goes over to Hiruzen and he's like, hey, Hiruzen, can we spar? And Hiruzen's like, no, I'm busy. I'm not gonna waste time sparring with you. It just wouldn't be fun. And Naruto was like, okay, how about this? It's a battle where we can only use jutsu. And we have to always stay 5 meters away from each other. That's the rules. If one of us gets hit 10 times by the other person's jutsu, they lose. And Hiruzen's like, fine, as long as it's gonna be short. Because he's kind of wondering where this is going, why the specific rules. And Naruto doesn't, the only reason Naruto put the rules was he only cared about the jutsu only thing. It would increase his chances of learning more jutsu and, I don't know, trying to copy stuff. So Hiruzen and Naruto would go up to the roof. The place probably somewhere where similar to where Hiruzen fought Orochimaru. And so Naruto would say, come on, start. And Hiruzen would throw his mud thing. I'm pretty sure he used it in his fight against Orochimaru. He used this mud thing on the tiles or I don't know, something like that. And he uses this mud jutsu to kind of attack Naruto from the ground. And Naruto dodges it almost, but the jutsu just hits him from the foot. And Hiruzen's like, that's one. And Naruto's like, we'll see. And he just literally used the exact same jutsu back on Hiruzen. And this catches Hiruzen off guard, because he didn't even realize Naruto knew how to use jutsu. Because last time he checked, Naruto was worst in his class. So Hiruzen's like, how the... and barely gets hit. And while Hiruzen's thinking about that, Naruto already has the water hose technique thing, I don't know the name of, and Hiruzen just watches as a stream of water hits him in the face. Doesn't do much damage, but it counts. And then Naruto does that great fireball jutsu. And Hiruzen's like, okay, no, I'm not gonna keep getting hit by a kid. I'm literally losing 2-1 right now. And so he stops thinking about how Naruto just mastered like 1 billion jutsu overnight, and he just creates a mud wall. And Naruto's like, yes, keep using your jutsu. And so Hiruzen just jumps out of the mud wall and hits Naruto with the Phoenix Flame Jutsu, I think it's called, Phoenix Flower Jutsu, whatever it's called, you know, the one that shoots multiple fireballs, and all of them hit Naruto, which means, let's say, Hiruzen launched 5 fireballs with the Phoenix Fire Jutsu, and so Naruto was up to 6 hits, and Naruto was about to lose, not to mention the fact that, you know, he was like almost completely out of commission after the Phoenix Fire Jutsu. And Hiruzen was like, I gotta say, that was impressive, but you stand no chance against the Hokage. And so he just swiftly finishes off with a water style wave jutsu, I guess, that just knocks him off of the building. And of course, he doesn't just like let him fall to the ground. He catches him, and then, you know, Naruto's already knocked out by then, which is kind of why the match ended. And so he brings him to the hospital. When Naruto wakes up, he's like, where am I? What happened? And then he just remembers what happened with Hiruzen. And he's like, well, that's what I expected anyways. As a slight smirk appears on his face, knowing that he mastered, like 1, 2, 3, like 4 or 5 new jutsu just in that fight. And he's like, how much more will my power grow? This is incredible. And so, you know, after that, like probably a few days later, because he has 9 tails, so he's gonna heal really quick. And he wasn't injured that bad. So like a few days later, he returns to the academy. And in the academy, they're running like shadow clones, you know, the useless ones, and the transformation jutsu. And Naruto, of course, being able to copy abilities, after seeing Iruka demonstrate, just nails it on the first time. And that's kind of how it goes for the entire, like, academy time, you know what I mean? Like, the entire time that Naruto's in the academy, he just, like, copies the jutsu, and that's it, you know? He doesn't have to work at all. He just gets it first try, using his special ability. And sometimes he asks Iruka to, you know, teach him some extra jutsu, you know, some harder stuff, and Iruka complies. You know, he shows Naruto a couple jutsu, and, you know, Naruto doesn't, like, master the jutsu at the exact time like on his first try, but it's like, it's just so that Iruka won't get suspicious, you know? He just, like, gets a half try in first, and then the next day, he just comes up to Iruka and he's like, see, I mastered all of the new jutsu you taught me. And Iruka's still really impressed, but, you know, this isn't even Naruto's full learning potential. So, on the final day of the exam, I guess he passes, because at this point, I mean, he might not be really good at the whole written exam thing, but he's gonna do well in the part where they have to do the shadow clone jutsu, and he also beats Sasuke, and Sasuke, he just goes all out from the beginning, outspeeding Naruto because he's still better than Naruto in taijutsu, and he just blitzes behind Naruto and kicks him behind the back. But Naruto catches himself before he can go out the circle. And Sasuke sees that Naruto's about to weave some hand signs. So he's like, I'm not letting you beat me this time. And says, you know, he weaves his hand signs and he's like, wait, fireball jutsu. and he launches a huge fireball because he's been practicing ever since Naruto beat him. Like, being beaten to like the worst kid in the class with him using your own jutsu against you, it's just like the worst feeling. So Sasuke's been practicing a lot, and his fireball jutsu is a lot better. And Naruto's seeing this, he's like, okay, maybe my fireball jutsu's a little bit worse than his. And he's like, I've got a better idea though. Naruto weaves hand signs and says, mud wall jutsu. And right in time, the mud wall goes up like fast enough to barely block Sasuke's fireball jutsu. And Sasuke's like, nice, I hit him. But as the smoke clears, Sasuke just sees a wall. He's like, what? That damn brat. And he just goes over to the wall to check on Naruto, ready to punch him and get him out of the circle. But when he looks, Naruto isn't there. And Naruto's actually using the headhunter jutsu. He just learned it from Iruka, I guess, because, Iruka taught him some extra jutsu. So he was using the headhunter jutsu, and Iruka realized that watching from the sidelines, and he was like, wow, Naruto's really good. Like, not only can he learn the jutsu, but he can, like, really use them in a battle. It's different. Like, you knowing how to do something is one thing, and then, knowing how to do it in a real-life scenario is even harder. So, Sasuke, being confused, suddenly sees a pair of arms, like, appear from right underneath him. And Naruto just like pops up from underground and just like slams Sasuke into the ground. And Sasuke gets back up, but barely. And Sasuke, unfortunately, wasn't fast enough because Naruto, the instant Sasuke got back up, Naruto was like, nah, you ain't winning this. And he just like kicked him right out of the circle, which really infuriated Sasuke, but Naruto doesn't care. Naruto, like, just wants to beat Sasuke, prove his strength. Whatever, I don't know, he just doesn't care. And so Naruto passes. The whole, like, Mizuki thing doesn't happen. I'm not gonna cover it. I don't care. Naruto doesn't have to learn the multi-shadow clone jutsu. It doesn't matter. He's already strong enough. And so, yeah, he gets promoted to Genin, and he gets his headband. And then, this is the most important part of the what if, guys. Naruto selects his new outfit. Oh my god. So, Copy Ninja Naruto. Okay, so Naruto is probably gonna be wearing some, like, black sweatpants, or not sweatpants. Yeah, you know what? I don't know, some, like, dark colored pants. He's gonna be wearing a black sweatshirt. Nothing too crazy, just, like, some, black outfit. And what should he be wearing as sandals? He's gonna be wearing the Jiraiya. No, not the Jiraiya. The Jiraiyas don't look really well. The Kakashi sandals. Yeah, those. And so Naruto looks really cool, and he has like his headband up top on his head. Yeah. So, next day comes to school. Kakashi waits for Kakashi for like way too long, and this is a really important time because after Kakashi comes in and tells them to meet them on the roof, if you remember, Kakashi's body flickers up to the roof, and Naruto was like, wait, was that a jutsu that I can copy? And like he immediately gets like this excited like smile on his face, and Sasuke and Sakura are like getting up to walk up the stairs. And they notice Naruto just like, smiling. And he's like, okay, time to give this a shot, as he like rubs his hand together. And he's like, he concentrates and then just body flickers, like disappears. And Sasuke and Sakura are like, did he just use the same jutsu as Kakashi? And they're all shocked because they have no idea what this jutsu is. They can only assume that it's like this teleportation super speed thingy. I mean, to them it looks like Naruto just teleported. And so they're just like really shocked, but they just go upstairs anyways. And upstairs they meet Kakashi, the copy ninja, which is kind of funny because like Kakashi is called the copy ninja, but at this point the real copy ninja here is Naruto. So Kakashi is like not a copy ninja at all compared to Naruto, whose ability at copying is like a trillion times better. Just like, it's too OP, which is why I made this what if. But Kakashi has no idea what's coming. So they do the whole introduction things with like Kakashi introducing himself. Naruto's introduction doesn't change. And yeah, I don't think Naruto's introduction would change. Sakura is still a douchebag, and Sasuke is still emo. Anyways, Kakashi tells them to meet him in the area place, forest, field place, and to make sure they don't eat anything. So yeah, I mean, they don't eat anything. It doesn't really matter. Naruto's gonna win anyway, so it doesn't matter if they don't eat anything. So the next day, they all meet up, and Kakashi is really late again. I'm not even gonna cover it because it's just so annoying. So Kakashi does the whole, this is the bell test, there are 2 bells, 2 people get it, the other person, gets kicked out of the team and becomes a genin. And so they're all like, oh, okay. Anyways, Kakashi's like, okay, start now. And like everyone just runs into the forest, except for Naruto, because Naruto's just gonna stand in the open like he does in the original. Because Naruto's still Naruto, even if he can copy abilities. And so Naruto just uses a jutsu. No, he doesn't. He just rushes at Kakashi, and Kakashi's like, bro, this kid, he's so bad. Because Naruto's taijutsu ability isn't that much better than the original. I mean, he's faster, and his taijutsu is also a lot better. But yeah, he's not that good. He's not that good, yeah. And so Kakashi's clone, clone just punches Naruto back, and Naruto's like, no, dang it, or whatever Naruto does, I don't know. And then he's like, okay, well, you asked for this, and he just runs at Kakashi, and Kakashi's like, oh, here he comes again. But then, while running towards Kakashi, Naruto starts weaving hand signs and says, Fireball Jutsu. Kakashi's eyes widen, and he has like this flashback to Obito doing a Fireball Jutsu, we don't have to talk about that, it's not important. He's like, Fireball Jutsu? Huh, interesting. How does he know that? He's on the same team with Sasuke, so maybe Sasuke taught him? But, Kakashi's too distracted to avoid the fireball, and Naruto's too close to Kakashi for Kakashi to dodge or anything. So, Kakashi just, gets destroyed. Except, it was a clone of Kakashi, so the clone just poofs into smoke. But Naruto's seeing that. He's like, wait a second, that's not the normal type of clone I know. That was like a real physical clone. And that's not how the clones I learned are supposed to be. And he's like, is this a new ability I can copy? And Kakashi, watching from above, he just watches as Naruto does the whole hand sign thing, the plus symbol. I think it looks like the plus symbol, ones where he does it with 2 hands, the shadow clone jutsu symbol, the one we all know and love. And he just makes 30 shadow clones, and all of the shadow clones start rushing at Kakashi. And Kakashi, like, hiding in the tree. Like, first of all, how did this kid find me? Second of all, how did he just, like, did he always know the clone jutsu? Like, did he just learn it right now? And he just assumed it was the first one, because, you know, there's no way Naruto just learned it on the spot. And, you know, the Narutos start rushing at Kakashi, and Kakashi doesn't have a lot of problems dealing with them. Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of problem dealing with them. But then the Naruto start using a bunch of jutsu, like the water stream thing, the water wave jutsu. They use the mud jutsu that Hiruzen used on Naruto, and the original Naruto uses the Phoenix Fire jutsu thingy, and Kakashi actually starts getting hit. So he's like, okay, you know what? I don't want this kid to get the bell all by himself. I'm actually gonna take this seriously. And, you know, Kakashi keeps being pressured, and as he keeps destroying Naruto's clones, but Naruto creates new clones over and over and over again, and the clones just keep using jutsu on Kakashi. And the more Kakashi uses other jutsu to block Naruto's jutsu, the more he, like, digs his own grave, because Naruto can copy the jutsu that he's using to block Naruto's jutsus that Naruto copied from someone else, if that makes sense. So eventually Kakashi gets pressured too much, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna open my Sharingan and I'm just gonna destroy this kid. But little does he know, that was, like, literally the worst thing he could do. I mean, if you want to beat Naruto, just use taijutsu, okay? But Kakashi just gave Naruto his strongest upgrade yet. And the instant Kakashi reveals his Sharingan, Naruto's like, you know, Naruto just, like, stops in his, stops in place and has that like, almost gasp moment where he just, like, freezes, and he looks at Kakashi, and Kakashi just, like, disappears out of his sight because of his insane reflex speed, and he just completely destroys all of Naruto's clones and blitzes at Naruto with, like, crazy speed. Like, not even Sasuke can understand what's happening. And then right as Kakashi is about to punch Naruto, Naruto just, like, dodges out of the way, and Kakashi's just surprised, and just, like, Kakashi almost zooms past Naruto because of his insane momentum that he had, just, like, dashing at Naruto with all of his speed. And he's like, what? And he looks back at how Naruto was able to dodge, and Naruto's just, like, standing there, and he, like, opens his eyes and looks at Kakashi, but just, like, stares at Kakashi as Kakashi gasps, seeing Naruto's Sharingan. And to make this more since he already copied Kakashi's one 3-Tomoe Sharingan, he has the 3-Tomoe Sharingan on in both eyes. Yeah, so Kakashi just, like, stands there in place, and he's like, how? Is he in a Uchiha? That would explain his fireball jutsu and his 3-Tomoe eyes. I don't know how he got 3-Tomoe, but wow. And Naruto's, like, using this moment of confusion to just dash at Kakashi and get a punch on him. And Kakashi's like, okay, I'm gonna beat you now. And as Kakashi, as Kakashi starts dashing at Naruto, there's still a clear difference between their abilities. So Kakashi punches Naruto, and Naruto gets slammed into the tree, and he, like, breaks an arm bone, maybe, something like that. So he's injured, and he's probably not going to be able to fight anymore. Kakashi's like, wow, that was way harder than I expected. And Naruto's like, I won. And Kakashi's like, what? How did he win? He clearly lost. He's standing, like, he's lying down there. So how could he have won? Because, you know, Kakashi forgot the purpose of this entire test because of, you know, how intense the fight was getting. as Naruto smiles and holds up the two bells. And Naruto just throws the two bells at Sakura and Sasuke, who were hiding. And Kakashi's like, he got the bells? When? And it's actually Naruto had stolen the bells already when, Kakashi had, tried to punch him, but Naruto dodged. And, while Kakashi was trying to punch him, he just took the bells. So, yeah, Kakashi was really surprised, and he was like, well, I guess you pass. And Team 7 was officially formed. But to be honest, guys, that's where I'm going to stop it for today's video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you want to see part 2. Yeah, just honestly, if this video reaches 5 likes, I'm immediately releasing part 2. So if you want to see that, make sure to like. And that's all. See you.